images of Earth. They constantly propagate. You have been taught from the earliest ages that you live on a spinning ball, that NASA has sent men to the moon.
And you are the result of a Big Bang explosion which created everything out of nothing. Yet nothing could be farther from the truth.
The pictures and videos presented to the public by NASA and other government space agencies are as real as a Hollywood motion picture and as scientific as science fiction.
If you were to go to NASA and download one of their photos of the Earth in the moon sky and put it in Photoshop, okay, drop the saturation and the levels down, you'll see that the Earth has been pasted in, because you'll see a rectangular box around the Earth. It's all fraud, it's all fake. Pretty much everything NASA puts out is fraudulent. There are no images of Earth from space. The only one that NASA actually claims is a photograph was from 1972, and it's the famous picture. It's got Africa sort of near the top, and it's the same picture they've been using for the last 40 or 50 years in every textbook. Every other image is what they call a composite. It's Photoshop.
There was another layer to sort of simulate the atmosphere.
And then there's this little bright spot.
It's called the specular highlight. So it's the reflection of sunlight off of water.
Those are the pieces, but you can't just slap them all together.
It just didn't look realistic. It looks kind of flat, or the clouds are sort of too see-through. So I just hit Command-Z a lot.
There's artistry to creating the world.
What I imagine it to be. Unfortunately, I'm not an astronaut. I've never been to space. But I've looked at these images over and over again, trying to sort of get the essence of it. It is photoshopped, but it's has to be. It is photoshopped, but it's has to be. It is photoshopped, but it's has to be. It is photoshopped, but it's has to be.
I've shown that the alleged curvature is not even detectable at 120,000 feet when people send up weather balloons with cameras not fitted with a fisheye lens. And by that, I'm talking about there's some videos that I have on my website there, and you could do videos yourself, do some searches on YouTube for videos of people doing high altitude weather balloon tests where they're sending up weather balloons. And if they have it fitted with a camera that doesn't use a fisheye lens, I mean, that thing's going up to 120, 121, 127,000 feet and spinning in 360 degrees and showing the horizon flat as a pancake, as opposed to the Red Bull video or, typical NASA video, which is always, it seems like always shot with a fisheye lens. And that's easy to tell when they're using a fisheye lens. First of all, like in the Red Bull deal, when that dude gets out of the capsule and stands out and they cut to the camera outside looking at him, the curve is just insane. And whenever the camera tilts at certain angles, I mean, it goes from convex to flat to concave to flat to convex to it's going all over. It's incredible morphing Earth. That's what happens when you use a fisheye lens. And a lot of the cockpit footage that I've seen from like these Russian MiGs and stuff that people are sending me that get up there really high, same thing. In fact, you can look in one of the shots over the pilot's shoulder there, the wing is all warped because of the curvature of the windshield. So we got to be careful with curved lenses or glass that we're looking through. And that's why, for me, I've basically had to just throw most of that stuff out because it's inconclusive at best. Because you look at one and it says, oh, well, there's a curve. And you look at another and it says, well, no, there's not a curve. Same altitude.
So you spin, when you spin pizza dough, it kind of flattens out. Yeah. Gets wider in the middle. And so Earth, throughout its life, even when it formed, it was spinning. And it got a little wider at the equator than it does at the poles. So it's not actually a sphere. It's oblate. And officially it's an oblate spheroid. That's what we call it. But not only that, it's slightly wider below the equator than above the equator.
A little chubbier.
A little chubbier.
Yeah.
Chubby's a good way. It's like pear-shaped. 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 Pear-shaped.
Dr. Tyson, you tweet @NeilTyson is your Twitter handle. Several million followers. Here is a tweet you sent out on March 11th, 2016. I occasionally wonder whether the entire universe is nothing more than a snow globe on the living room mantle of an alien. Was that a late night tweet or something?
Yeah, I occasionally wonder that. That's all. The universe is all we know. It's our entire existence. And look at what we do to, I don't know if this is still a thing to do, when you have ant farms. You ever have an ant farm and there's a little bit of sand here and there's a vessel and there are little tubes. They're the ants just doing their thing. And I don't know if they're happy or sad or they're thinking about it, but do they know they're in an ant farm? Do they have self-awareness? Do they have any idea? Do bees know that you're about to steal all of their honey? They have a world where they are pollinating plants and coming back and making honey. Do they have any idea that we created that world for them when it's a bee farm? Any idea at all? So we get to do this because we are smarter than they are, so we can outsmart them and create an environment in which we think they're happy.